Animation is a very interesting thing. All it is a series of oftentimes hand-drawn images that when placed one after another and swapped through very quickly, gives it the appearance as if it is moving. But why is it that animation catches our attention so much? Why is it that we feel so nostalgic whenever we see an old animated movie that we watched when we were a kid? And how can animation help us in our everyday lives?
When we watch media such as movies, the occipital lobe and temporal lobe in our brain are very active. These parts deal with visual processing and recognitions of shapes, color, and motion, as you would see in most animated movies. As the limits for how vibrant and smooth an animation can be are pretty well limitless, the attention of these parts of the brain can be captured and deeper emotional connections can be felt while watching the movie. There are certain parts of our brain, such as the anterior insula and mirror neurons, that are responsible for empathy. When we watch characters with a lot of emotion, we have a way of putting ourselves alongside them. This forms a deeper connection with the character and the story and allows us to feel empathy, sadness, happiness, or excitement for the character, as well as forming a deeper connection with the story itself. And part of the reason we feel so nostalgic about all these old animated films is because of the deep connection that we form with them as we were children. When we go back and watch these movies or see clips of them, it reminds us of all the good times when we were a kid, ignoring all the bad stuff that happened and highlighting the strong emotional feelings you had towards that film and the environment around it. Animation can also play a very large role in the development of children, for good or for bad. Parents need to be cautious of the media that their children intake, as messages within animated media are picked up by children very well. Animated media can persuade a child in the way of behavior or beliefs. It could teach a child to be aggressive or to be kind. That is also why a lot of animated media for young children always have the weird, cheesy messages to be learned at the end of them, because it plays a large role in their development and how they grow up. Especially if the parents are not teaching them anything outside of that and they're getting all their information strictly from forms of media such as animation. And while children may learn from live action from its sense of realism, there is a different reason why children learn from animation so well. The same reason why animation can be used and incorporated into education to allow children for an easier and more enjoyable learning process. Animation can be used to highlight every scene, making sure that the person is giving full attention. If the imagery or scene is captivating, it will allow you to store it much easier in your brain. This is a similar process to Memory Palace, where the better you can visualize it, the more you're going to remember it. Animation may also be able to simplify and visually explain complex ideas and offer them in a different way of learning that can be digested by the viewer in a potentially better way. So if you're a visual learner, it'll be much easier to learn using visual examples alongside somebody speaking and explaining to actually learn it. Similar to how most instruction manuals work, you have the written format telling you what to do alongside a picture showing you what you need to do. Even if you aren't a visual learner, having visual aspects helps a major amount. Over 70% of all your sensory receptors are located in your eyes. And nearly 50% of your brain is involved in visual processing, which means a huge amount of how we intake the world is through our eyes and how we see things. Most of what we pick up on and learn is what we see from others. Seeing may not always be believing, but it definitely helps our brain understand difficult concepts. Why wouldn't we incorporate our primary source of learning? Why limit ourselves to only verbal intake? Animated visual elements are also used within the business industry. Businesses use animation and sound in their advertisements to create something that'll stick around in your mind that you'll remember the next time you need that product. If you're all of a sudden really tired and the only thing on your mind is that one energy drink commercial that won't get out of your head, that's likely going to be the one that you're going to purchase. Unique animation, popular songs, and catchy slogans are all strategies used just to get you to remember that commercial. Because if you can remember that commercial, there's a higher chance you're going to purchase that product over another product when the time arises. Once again, a pretty similar process to Memory Palace, where the more ridiculous it is, the easier it is to remember it. When we think of animation, oftentimes we just think of movies. However, it spans much further than that and includes a wide variety of different things. Most forms of drawn imagery can be used as animation, and is used for more than just entertainment.
These are some brief reasons why animation is so important and how it can be used in our everyday lives. And those are some of the ways that psychology is connected to animation.